try to make it all undone.
Well, you're Ilana.
And you're Sean.
And together we are the Downunder Cruisers. Welcome aboard, folks. Nice to have you here.
It is
another hump day today, and we're having an awesome day. So let's have a look. Who was first in the stream? First of all, Hildy. Welcome aboard, Hilda.
Hello.
Nice to have you here. Congratulations. You won 528 million points on P&O Australia.
Wow.
Payable tomorrow. That's interesting because they're not even cruising yet.
Worth about 5 cents.
Yeah. Very quickly followed by Nick P. Bidet Nick and he goes, Bidet, Sean and Ilana. My SUV is about done. The body shop finished all the painting on Monday. Just got to attach the computer for the alignment to see if anything else is needed. Mate, that's awesome. Now you'll be traveling. Awesome. He goes on to say, but after that, it will be done. That's great.
It will be done.
G'day, Najuma. How are you? How are you? Nice to see you. Here he is. Sir Eric B. What's up, buddy people? How are you, buddy? Nice to have you here. Oh, we've got this guy here from Illinois.
Dewey.
Do you know this guy?
Vaguely. I've seen him before.
Seen him once or twice. And we've got Loves You. Hey, Loves You. Nice to see you. Welcome aboard. It's been a long time since you've been on our channel.
Nice to see you.
But nice to see you. Hey, welcome aboard. All right. Okay. Well, surprise, surprise.
Do we have a special guest?
We have a guest. And this guest is...
Better hurry up and bring him out of the basement.
Yeah, all right.
Because,
again, sorry about the mess, Dewey.
Very good host down in the basement.
Hold on.
Dewey.
I'm in chat with somebody. Hold on. Oh, hi.
Okay. How you going?
Hello.
Wonder who you were in chat with.
I'm so sorry. While you were in the basement, Dewey, I didn't tidy and bake a cake. I'm sorry. That's very remiss of me.
Where are my red M&Ms? Gosh.
Oh, I see. Oh, you're like a rock star, are you? You're very choosy about your rider clause. Red M&Ms. I'll remember that. I'm noting that down right now.
I came up with a question while I was down there.
Yes.
If you guys are down under, what are we? We up above?
You're up in the attic.
Well, there's been some chat in some of the channels about upside down pineapples. And as far as we're concerned, the pineapples are the right way round. But as far as you're concerned, they might be upside down.
Yeah, I guess it's all a matter of perspective, isn't it?
It is. Exactly.
It is. Dewey, we've got David Burgess out there. G'day, Dewey. About time they got you on here. I was about to protest if they went another week.
Yes, he was really
yeah, if I remember right, you were a big proponent of mine in last week's show.
Yep. Oh, Dewey. We've got this person here, J&N Travels.
Good morning, Professor.
Morning,
well, now, first of all, 2005 as far as we're concerned, and John.
We're not mentioning. No, we are not mentioning that person.
No,
I'm sorry. Apparently, it's person non grata now.
No. There's somebody else in the chat in this. It really, I mean. Really, Dewey, how did you get mixed up with this character?
Hey, when you get around, you get around. What can I say?
We're doing a lot of matchmaking, Dewey. You're looking very suave in your tux, by the way.
Yeah, you were looking suave in your tuxedo.
I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy in the respect I love to get dressed up. So formal nights on cruises that still do it properly, you're going to see me dressed up all the time.
That's awesome.
I think men look fantastic when they're dressed up in tuxes and suits.
And John says it's 6:05 in the morning, and here's what he's threatening me. He'll leave if I bring up his name.
Oh, look, and I'm sorry, my sympathetic ear only stretches so far too. So
we're talking about his Aussie cousin,
Aussie. We can't even say his name.
Yeah, John is calling him Voldemort.
Voldemort. There you go.
Dewey, we got you up here for a reason, And the reason is you've been traveling.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Lucky man.
So, up to date, your most favorite excursion or cruise, should I say?
My most favorite cruise would still be my Panama Canal cruise that kind of started all of this.
Which was
Back
when?
in December of 2019. My wife passed away in May of 2019, and we were big Christmas fans. And I wasn't ready to face December, yet alone Christmas.
Yeah.
We always played Santa and Mrs. Claus and stuff. So it's just, so a friend convinced me that, well, maybe you ought to just need to go and do something.
Yep.
And I'd never given thought to traveling by myself. I either traveled with my wife or else a few little business trips now and then, but traveling for fun by myself just seemed like why?
Yep.
But I always wanted to go to the Panama Canal, and my wife didn't. In her words, I don't know what your fascination is with that big ditch. So I figured now's my chance to finally get to go. And I signed up for it, and it was going to be gone most of December. And then I thought, what am I doing? I don't know anybody. I don't even know. And I'd never even been on a cruise that long at that point. Oh my gosh, I had the time of my life. I'm obviously such a shy and withdrawn person, so
Absolutely.
it wasn't long before I got to know a lot of people, and of course, being a newly widowed retired person, you kind of get to be very popular on the cruises too.
Absolutely.
And it kind of got to be a standard joke about Mitch and his harem. Like everywhere I went, somebody knew had met me already. So people were always saying hi and all this stuff. And it's like I was with a group of people already, and I didn't know a soul till I got on board the ship.
Yeah. David is saying he does formal nights, which in essence, at least, is having clothes on. We've got Heather from.
I think Julie's frozen there.
We've got Heather from Us and More.
Oh.
Hey, Heather. Good morning.
We've got just a couple of guys saying g'day between each other.
So, Julie, that's actually the beauty of being on a cruise. You know, you really aren't alone because, you know, you sit down, you share tables, and, you know, you don't sit like a dodo, you talk to people.
Yeah, and I'm a good one. I'd like to have a set dining time and a set table because I figured if nothing else, I'll always have a standard group to check in with daily.
Yeah.
And I love doing that. You know, a lot of people like the your time dining and all that, and I can see a lot of benefit in it. But there's still part of me that likes to be regimented, so I like to know where I'm supposed to be when. And on that cruise I was on for the Panama Canal, I was at a table of 6, and there was one couple. All the rest of us were solo travelers. So I didn't feel like a fifth wheel. And 2 of the solo travelers actually hooked up and are still together to this day. So that
Awesome.
worked out kind of nice.
So you were the catalyst, right?
Oh, no. Actually, they were both older than me, and they did well on their own.
So was the Panama Canal all that you were expecting and more?
Definitely. It's going to be really hard to beat, but I have a couple trips coming up that may contend close to it. But I've always been a fan of the Panama Canal just because of all the engineering it took and stuff. And I'd read a lot, I'd watched a lot. And so I've always been interested in it. And I'm going back already this coming spring because I loved it so much. I don't think you can do it enough.
That's become quite evident by the way you've been doing things. David is saying the best part about cruising 5,000 people can all do something different and yet still be happy.
Yeah, and no matter what you're doing, there's going to be somebody there doing it with you. And that's how I got to know a lot of people. It seemed like a lot of the excursions that I was on, you kind of kept finding the same people going to a lot of them.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, I remember you, and you strike up conversation, and then before you know it, you see each other on the ship. And I met up with quite a few different people that I'm still friends with to this day on there. And you really get, that's when you really start to feel that traveling is a community. And this was before I knew anything about the YouTube community.
Yeah.
I was just hooked. I've always been a person who loved traveling anyway, since my dad worked for the airlines. So I decided then that I think I'm going to do a lot more of this. So before I even got off that cruise, I had already signed up for another cruise the following summer, which of course ended up getting canceled. And then I found out about 2 other cruises from people that were on that trip. And at least one of or I signed up for 2 others after I got back home from that, based on what people on that trip had told me. So that's kind of started my, okay, let's see how many trips I can rack up here. And that's when I found YouTube, because I started researching all these trips that I was interested in.
You started researching all these cruises that they could cancel, so you could have extra onboard credit, so that you could be on another 500 million cruises.
Well, it's funny because, I started to get excited about traveling. And of course, then COVID hit and started canceling all these things. Well, I'm sorry. I don't care if you cancel or not. I'm still excited about getting to do them. So there was no doubt in my mind when a trip would get canceled and they'd issue credit. It's like, well, hell yes, pardon me. Heck yes, I'll sign up for another trip somewhere. So they just kept rolling over and multiplying on me. Before you know it, I got 20 some different cruises lined up, and it's like, now if we could just start doing them.
Wow.
Let me just jump into the chat quickly. Philip, g'day Philip, how are you, buddy? Nice to see you
Philip.
on board. Philip says the other reason to go on a cruise is if you die, you can be buried at sea.
That's one of the things that I often say about my traveling stuff. I don't want to sit home and wish I'd have done things. I want to be able to have all these memories when I get to the point I can't do something and I'm stuck. But ideally, I want to die while I'm on a trip somewhere, and the last thing I hear is, I can't believe he did that.
David is saying, Dewey, if you haven't done it, go and do the sewers. It's awesome. You'll be shaking sand out of your body parts and you didn't know you had, but awesome all the same.
I would love, that's definitely on my dumpster list. I had to change to a dumpster list because my bucket got too full too quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so
small.
you've done, how many is it since the resuming of cruising?
We counted up yesterday. I think I'm up to 7 cruises I've done already, counting a little gambling cruise and a dinner cruise at Branson, and then Alaska and the Caribbean and the Bahamas. So
And plus did you go to the Dominican Republic too?
Yep, been to the Dominican Republic and
resort?
Cancun twice. So
You went to
Can you not swear at Dewey, please?
I know.
He's trying to forget that trip.
Well, but it's travel anyway. It's still travel.
So
they all can't be jewels in your hat. You got to have a few little loose threads somewhere.
Hey, it's all part of the experience, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So, Dewey, a little bit of info for you. According to Qantas and the federal government, the Australian federal government, we will be able to fly out of Australia on the 18th of December.
Wonderful.
Is that dependent on 80% vaccination though?
That's dependent
on
on
the target.
Well, the target is 80% vaccination by the entire population. Currently, the states of New South Wales and Victoria have just hit 80% first doses. Now, the question is this. The federal government says you can travel, the state governments are turning around and going, wait a minute.
No.
So they're playing power games.
Oh, we're very familiar with that here.
Yeah. In terms of cruising, the local cruise company, P&O Australia, and I think a couple of others are looking at starting their cruising. This cruising season for this summer is out. So they'll start cruising around about July, August is when we start leaving Australian ports.
Wow. Still a long way off.
Yeah,
that's the word in terms of cruising. But as far as us being able to come across for our group cruise, it looks like we will be able to make it.
See, ridiculous
thing. They'll let you out, even if they won't let us in yet.
well, gosh, by October,
the word
we
is,
hope so.
If they are letting us out, they are able to let you in.
Well, the silly
maybe
thing
I'll
is
finally get over there. They keep canceling my cruise, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, may not be this year though. The silly thing is, we'll probably be able to fly out and take a cruise somewhere else before we can even move between states here. It's just madness.
Do you want to know what the funniest thing is? We'll be able to fly to Florida before we can even get to Perth, Australia.
Yeah, that's pretty bad when you can fly halfway around the world, but you can't fly at home yet.
David is saying that he's flying like a demented duck over a dosed on a Red Bull. He's also saying that New South Wales is 86% vaccinated.
Single dose or double? I think
it's single dose. He also went on to say can fly to UK but not to Western Australia, but that's probably a bonus. Yeah, it is. And Philip is saying...
Can I just say, David's supposed to be promoting Australia.
Yeah, that's right.
For everybody.
And Philip is saying that, but they will then say we need 80% having a booster as well.
Let's talk of boosters at the moment.
Philip, listen, mate. Stop putting ideas in their mind. Seriously. Okay, now, you've got cruises that you have booked in Australia, but you actually cancelled on those because they couldn't give you any definite figures. Is that right?
Right. I was supposed to be there right after New Year's last year. That got canceled, and they did a lift and ship to this year. Well, that just got canceled about a month or so ago too, but they wouldn't do another lift and shift because the prices are rising too much, and there was too much a discrepancy between what I paid for it 2 years ago. So we've just canceled it altogether, and once Australia is open, I'll rebook a whole new trip, whether it be cruising or land-based or whatever. But one way or the other, I want to get over there because I've got too many friends there I want to see. So.
Yeah, well, we want to actually...
Hopefully we're on that list so that we can see you.
Actually want to touch you, you know. David is saying single doses, but mid-60s second dose. Okay. And the next thing David said was Western Australia is a suburb of China. Oh. Yeah, right.
Oh. Using that logic, maybe they'll let you go.
Yeah. David is saying New South Wales double dose is expected to be 11th of October.
Well, you've got your opening up plan.
Yeah. So just a little bit of info for you and anybody else who's in the chat listening right now. Australia goes, or at least the eastern states of Australia go into daylight saving on Sunday morning, which means that as far as our live streams go, our Wednesday live stream will change for those of you that are across the pond. We will go an hour earlier. I know that you go out of daylight saving on the 2nd of November, I believe, and so you'll lose another hour there as well. We will still maintain our Australian time schedule on Wednesdays, yep. But on Saturdays, which is your Friday, for those of you that are this side of the pond, we will move not this Saturday, but next week Saturday, we will move to a 1 p.m. That is still 10 p.m. your time across the pond. So, and then when you guys come out of daylight saving again, we will then move to 2 p.m., which will still be your 10 p.m. So just giving you a bit of a heads up as to how the time schedules will change.
Can you all be tested on that at the end?
Yeah, you will, along with your COVID test that will, no, sorry.
All the more reason to make sure that you're subscribed and you hit that little bell so you can let YouTube.
Thank you very much.
Correct. Hit
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you.
Ambulating Adventure Stan, how are you, buddy? Nice to have you on board. Good morning to you. Actually, good evening, our time.
Good on you.
Philip is saying, can Victoria be a state of America? We can be the 51st state? Yeah, all right. Well, then it's true. Then we can cruise, right?
We've got
Dave is saying
get replacements.
Yeah, that's true. David is saying an hour earlier everywhere on the planet, Queensland, 1970. Yeah, well, Dave.
This is an old joke with Queensland.
Let me just say, I'd much prefer that we didn't move times because daylight saving is at the wrong time of the year. It should actually be in the winter when there is little daylight. But anyway.
No, he's on his hobby horse.
I can agree with that because we even here. So when once we do the daylight savings time, working in the wintertime, for a lot of people, you go to work in the dark, come home in the dark. It's like you spend all your waking hours working.
That's right.
Well, the only person right now that's really happy about us coming an hour or two earlier is John, because he works at that time slot.
Oh, Heather, as per usual, thank you.
In other words,
she knows how to work it all out.
Yeah.
Good on you, Heather.
Thanks, Heather. So, in other words, instead of 6 a.m., they will be 5 a.m. Eastern until November 2, and then will be 4 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, dear.
See, it's time like
Good on you.
We've got
Tommy.
We've got Tommy Dodson.
Hello.
When he worked, everyone said he was always in the dark. Tommy, that depends on what you were doing for a living. Was it a welder?
I hope it wasn't brain surgery. You'd be worried.
Uh-oh. Looks like we lost Sean and Alana. So you've got me till we can get them back. Oh, goodness. I figured I'd be the one that would drop a signal here with no Wi-Fi at my house now up here in Illinois. Hey, they're back. Glad to see you. Of course.
Welcome to the show.
It's not the Wi-Fi.
It's not the Wi-Fi. Our StreamYard occasionally decides that we're not fit for public consumption.
Oh, boy. If YouTube made that decision, we'd have a lot fewer shows on.
Yeah, that's true. Dave is going on to say daylight saving throws out the clock in the microwave. Numerous internet dropouts and the clothes won't dry on the heels hoist. That's correct. You got it. And Eric is saying it's the Dewey show. And Philip is saying the mushroom theory, keep them in the dark and feed them. Yeah,
yep.
Right.
Yep.
So your next cruise coming up?
Be in 10 days. I'm going on the Virgin Scarlet Lady.
Where's that? Is that coming? Where's that? Oh, sorry. I'll spit my question out. Sorry, I'm chewing.
It goes out of Miami, and we go to Costa Maya and Bimini, Bahamas.
Now, it will actually be living up to its name, right?
Scarlet Lady.
No, it's a virgin trip out of Miami.
Well, I look at it this way. When I went to the Virgin Islands, I didn't become a virgin again, so I'm not holding up that much hope for the ship.
Well, do you know the old trick the old joke? We went to the Canary Islands and we couldn't find any canaries. So we went to the Virgin Islands and we couldn't find any canaries there either.
I like that.
Actually, I have some friends also in the US who they would be going on various trips, and they'd end up at the British Virgin Islands, and they conceived their first kid there. And then they went a couple of years later, and they conceived their second kids there. So what do they call it? They don't call it the Virgin Islands anymore. They just call it the islands.
Well, I was just thinking, when I went to the Virgin Islands, it was with my best friend. Worked out great. I was working in hotels. I had hotel connections. He had air miles, so it didn't cost us anything to fly. It was a very cheap trip. Now on this Virgin trip, guess who's going with me? The very same.
Oh.
It's like, I guess the only time we can travel together, we got to go someplace with Virgin in the name involved.
Now, this is a really, really interesting looking ship. And I believe that the food is absolutely spectacular from what we've seen. We were just starting to chat about that before we came live on air.
The first I'd ever heard about it, I thought, yeah, I don't know if that'll be up, what I would like. And Emma's Cruises, she's done 2 now, different vlogs on it. Her first one, she wasn't very impressed.
No.
And I wasn't either. And I thought, well, the only reason I'm going on this one is they had a deal where you travel agents take their courses and you could win a free cruise. And so I'm not really that much of a travel agent, but I did take the courses so I could get the free cruise and try them out. And so that's why I ended up going. And but then her second vlog series, she was able to appreciate it more and enjoy it. And the more that I watch it now that I'm actually going and I see other vlogs on it, the more I realize, well, it's definitely going to be fun the first time. Whether or not I'll like it will depend whether I keep going. And since it's right out of here or there in Florida, it'll be easy enough to pop on and do them if I want. So,
yeah. Oh, we have thoroughly enjoyed Cruise with Ben and David. We love them. They are hysterical.
I look forward to meeting up with them sometime. They sound like they could be a lot of fun.
I can imagine that they would be.
Well, we tried to get them to come on our group cruise, but they just ignored us.
Well, it's their loss.
So John is saying humans are starting to come in, so he has to go. Good day to you and Dewey. Thank you, John, for popping in. Have an awesome day, and catch us up on the replay. Take care. Thanks for coming in.
Bye.
Bye, John.
So the next is the Scarlet Lady.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to Jay from The Ship Life doing a vlog, a live stream earlier on. He's currently in France with his young lady, and he was saying that apparently the staff on the Virgin cruise are very well trained and are looked after extremely well. So I think you're going to have an amazing cruise.
I think it's going to be fun. I'm finding, even though I never claimed to be a partier, I'm starting to have fun on some of these ships that do have a little party atmosphere.
Yeah.
The Mardi Gras I really enjoyed, even though I was never considered myself a carnival type person. I had a lot of fun, and I'm already looking forward to going on it again for Halloween. My first Royal cruise on the Mariner for a weekend cruise. Well, the weekend cruises are pretty much a party cruise, and I just thrived on all of the energy and excitement going on, both on ship and off ship. The perfect day at Coco Cay I had so much fun, and it's like, maybe I'm not as young as I used to be, but boy, all this traveling sure makes me feel like it all the time.
Yeah. So you went on the Mardi Gras. Did you go on the Horizon as well before?
Have not been on the Horizon yet.
Okay, so our group cruise is going to be your second or third.
It'll be my third trip on that because the month before I'll be on it on a back-to-back with Midlife Crazies rum runners.
Oh, the rum run.
yeah.
Yep.
Right.
You mean? Oh my goodness! So they're going to have to clean the ship.
If it still survives, we'll have it ready for you guys in October. I don't know if it can survive 2 weeks of this crazy group, but we'll see.
You'll have a blast.
You know, the average cruise in Australia goes for 12 to 14 nights. The average cruise.
My kind of cruise.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at you guys doing I mean, we just saw Amy from Amethyst Haze. She was doing a weekend cruise, and you talk about weekend cruises. For us, that's a bit of a misnomer because it doesn't happen that often down here.
Yeah, you got to have someplace to go for a weekend cruise.
Well, that's right.
Correct. So for us, our group cruise is actually a very short one.
Yeah, for just a week cruise, that would be for you standards.
It'll go really quickly.
Nick is saying, hopefully the only hurricanes that the ship runs into are hurricanes that drink.
Yeah, we of course we were like we were talking last night. Once we get on the cruise, it's going to be so much fun. We could sink and still have fun.
Tell me, do you get the drinks package, Dewey?
I do, depending on the group I'm with. When I went to Alaska, I didn't, and that was only because I made a mistake and I bought the wrong package. I ended up buying the bubbles package, so I had all the soda I wanted. But my total drink bill, it came out okay because I wasn't drinking that heavily.
Yeah.
But other groups, depending on the group, some of them you're going to be drinking heavily. And so I will usually get the drink package. If it's a solo cruise where I'm not with a big group of people, then probably not, because I tend to slow down my drinking a lot if I'm just by myself. And not that I would ever stop drinking, but I become a much more social drinker instead of just a heavy drinker.
But Dewey, from your point of view, as a solo cruiser, to get the drinks package in a lot of cases is not a bad deal because it's only you in the cabin.
Right.
When you've got a family, like in our case, I'm the alcoholic. I might have a drink once a week. And for us to go and do the drinks package would be just totally ridiculous. So what we're planning to do for our cruise is take that drinks package money and put that on onboard credit.
There you go. And that's what I like with the Virgin Cruises. They don't have drink packages, but they have reasonably priced drinks.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can kind of prepay your bar tab, they call it now.
Yep.
And so they had a deal going this week or last week, whenever you pay $300 towards your bar tab, they give you $350 worth of credit. So you get $50 extra by paying in advance. Well, I know I'll easily drink that much, so
absolutely.
that wasn't a problem.
Did you see Emma's interview with I think it was the vice president of Virgin Cruises? Did you see her interview?
Yes.
Yeah, because she asked that question about whether they were intending in the future to have a drinks package, and they said no.
I think I love the idea that they're doing more reasonably priced drinks, because then, the main reason people get the drinks package is to make it affordable. Well, if you're paying reasonably priced, it's not so bad, unless you're just a huge drinker already. But I find getting the drinks package kind of keeps me solo, because a lot of times when somebody may want to share a room with me on a cruise, a lot of times they change their mind because, well, no, I don't want to get the drink package. So it's either I don't get it so I can get a roommate, or if I do get it, I got to get another drunk to share a room with me.
Yeah, well,
I really don't understand that concept of, you both have to have the package. I understand you might share your drinks package, but I just think it's so unfair.
One way or the other, you're still, especially on Carnival where they limit you to 15. On the ships where it's unlimited, I can see, because you could buy one and actually drink for two. But when you're only getting 15 drinks, after that, somebody's got to be paying for them anyway. So what's the difference?
Well, that's 15 alcoholic. Princess is the same. They have a cap on their alcoholic.
Nick is saying that today's exactly 1 month until he leaves on his rail adventure across the country.
Lovely. It's exciting.
That's going to be awesome. Dave was saying that it takes him 4 days to find his cabin, so a weekend cruise wouldn't
Would
do
be
any
useless.
You know,
good.
I
G'day, Ian. We've got the Uber cruisers on board.
do what?
Lovely.
We've got the Uber cruisers on
Oh.
board. They are. He's saying late to the party. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, we're all great, mate.
Thank you.
And Dave is also saying we do back to back now, average around 22 to 23 days. So far for them to fly, have to make it worth the cost wise. And that we agree, you know, that's why we're looking at almost a month in Florida with you guys.
And that was the way I was till I got moved to Florida. It's like nothing less than a week was worth it because it was a whole day of flying travel to get there and a whole day of flying travel to get back.
Yeah.
Now living there, I get off the ship and I'm back home by noon, kicking back and relaxing, doing laundry. So that's kind of nice.
Did you have to mention that word laundry?
Sometimes that's the only reason I go home between trips.
Mate, sometimes it's better getting the cabin steward to do it for you. Dave is...
I do that a lot. I'll have the ship do my laundry so that it's easier to pack because they fold a lot neater than I do.
Yeah. Dave is saying he slows down his drinking when he's on his own. Hence, he stands with the crowds of people he doesn't know. He also went on to say, Royal limit your drinking package to being unconscious unless you have signed up to the drip feed option.
Yeah, that was one thing I did like on Royal. On Carnival, you had to present your card every time. You had to sign a slip for every drink, even if you weren't paying for it. On Royal, all you had to do basically is either show them the card or just tell them your room number. And especially if you hang out somewhere, once they know you, the rest of the cruise, it's like we didn't have to do anything because they just remember your room number and put it on your tab right away, and you don't have to worry about counting it up or anything.
Nick is off to work, so have a good day, Nick. Drive safely, and hope you have a very safe shift today.
See you later. Look forward to seeing that train trip.
Yeah, we all do. And Najuma is saying to Nick, have a good day. So now
I want to know about. Sorry,
go on.
I'd like to know about Alaska, traveling in a cold climate, and being on a ship. Does it limit what you can do outdoors? Was it a really silly question?
Not a whole lot of swimming went on that trip.
There was no. They didn't have. What ship were you on? It was.
I was on the Miracle.
Miracle.
And they did have one covered area for a pool, but it was still cool. So you didn't see a lot of people in the pool, more people in hot tubs than in the pool.
Yep.
But Alaska's not really a swimming kind of trip. It's all about what you're seeing. So, we spent one whole day. We had 3 cabins altogether. So we had them open up the balcony. So we had one huge balcony between all 3 of us. Nice. And we spent one whole day going through Tracy Yarn Fjord, which was it wasn't a port stop. It was just we sailed up and back, saw all the glaciers and the mountains and the waterfalls and the river. It was just so beautiful. And the hardest thing to get people to understand is how beautiful Alaska is, because everybody knows Alaska's beautiful, but you get there in person, it's like 10 times more than you imagined how beautiful it is. It's awe-inspiring. And you can sit there for hours watching the scenery go by and you never get tired of it. And we sat out on our balconies, bundled up in warm clothes and hoodies and blankets so we could watch all that instead of sitting somewhere by a window where you could watch it. It just wasn't the same as being out there and watching it right up front.
Were you fortunate enough to see any whales?
We did. While we were on the cruise, there were a couple of different days where there were sightings, and then we actually went on a whale watching expedition where we got to see quite a few whales. And fortunately, this time, when I went in Alaska in 2013, I was trying to whale watch through my camera. And as Murphy would have it, everywhere I was pointing, the whale would be somewhere else. So this trip, I fortunately was watching for whales. And if I happened to get the camera pointed the right way, awesome. But I actually got to see a whole lot more that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's the danger.
we did have quite a few sightings. It was a beautiful day, nice and sunny out, and they were just popping up all over the place around us. And we had a good person on the boat that was just really uh, interested in whales and natural wildlife and stuff. So she knew her stuff and was talking about them. The captain was good about getting us positioned just right whenever there was a sighting.
Awesome.
So people could see it and we'd be close enough. And so it was a really good trip.
David is saying Alaska, you can wear a t-shirt and jeans, or on other days hug bears to keep warm. Very changeable weather. It's heaven on a stick for the eyes.
When I went the first time, it was in early June, and it was actually warmer than it was this year when we were there in August. This one in August, I got chilly quite often, and the one in June, I was still running around in shirt sleeves and didn't have a problem with it. But it's, you know, the beauty. If you're looking for clear waters, shirt, no shirt and shorts and all that stuff, you're not going to be happy. Of course, you do get some beautiful water in Alaska, though. You get those glacier waters; they look as good as the Caribbean. But you've got to go to Australia with the idea that it's not going to be a sunny play on the beach type trip. And if
Yeah.
as long as that's not what you're expecting, you'll really enjoy it. And
Yeah.
I'm already going back next summer again because I just you can't get enough of Alaska. So
yeah. So you went. Who was on your cruise with you when you went to Alaska this time?
we went with two traveling tour with Kim and Neil.
Yeah.
That's Ronnie and Alma.
And Ronnie and Alma were there. And
Yeah,
then Mary Ellen Dillon was already scheduled on that cruise before we all got together. So even though she wasn't with our group of cabins, she still hung out with us as the group. So there was 6 of us all together there, and we had a lot of fun.
How did you get Kimberly to stop calling out Mexico?
We had to just keep breaking her to say Alaska instead. So she was doing real good with that. So as long as you have a keyword somewhere, she'll do good. Except you won't hear her say the DR word anymore.
Well, I wonder why.
Especially, I mean, as bad as it went, she was our travel agent and tour planner for that trip. So it was almost nonstop working for her, trying to put out fires and get things situated because she felt so responsible. And we kept telling her, stop and enjoy yourself. It's not your fault that they're a lousy place to be.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put up a quick video of our group cruise, because what I want to do is I want to ask your opinion on what new cruises should be doing. So let's just get into this for a minute. We are so looking forward to that cruise. It's not funny.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, I think all of those places I've been to at least once before then, so I'll be familiar enough with them that it'll be about who I'm with and not so much where I'm at.
Yeah. Just as a heads up for those, and I know there's a few in the chat who have never done a cruise before, what are some of the pointers that you might have for them?
One of my biggest selling points when I try to tell people is, imagine going to a hotel that you never have to leave and you wake up in a different city every morning. And that's basically what happens with a cruise, because you go once, you unpack, you don't move out of your room, and every day you wake up somewhere new and exciting. And even if you don't even get off the ship itself is always exciting because there's so much to do, especially with these new big ships. The Mardi Gras, I was afraid I wouldn't enjoy because I'm not a big ship person. But it was the way it was laid out. It was a lot of small areas, so you never felt like you were lost on it. You can't do everything in a week on a ship that size.
Yeah.
I can see why so many people did a back-to-back, and I'm already looking forward to going on Halloween so I can do some of the things I didn't have time to get to the first time.
Very quickly, David is saying, with regard to our Alaska conversation, glacier water, a beautiful green color.
Oh, yeah.
And he's also saying that he's off. Sean and Ilana, great show as always. And Dewey, you are awesome. Thanks for the entertainment.
Thanks, David. I appreciated you being my agent last week to get me on.
Start charging commission. Be careful.
Mom's just stepped on. G'day, everyone. Hope you're all well.
Jen.
Hey, Ma. Hope everything's going well. Okay, so
Dewey, as someone who's sailed during in the new world, shall we say, what do you make of the protocols?
I love the fact that so many cruises are doing vaccinated only, because that is keeping things closer to normal than would otherwise be possible. The cruises that before that weren't doing all vaccinated, they were more intent on social distancing, limitations of the crowd, and heavy mask usage. Now, mask usage is still encouraged, in some places required, but it's not being 100% vaccinated. It's not as critical, so that things feel a little bit more normal. I think we're always going to have masks with us in everything we do. I don't think we're going to ever get to a maskless society, at least not for quite a long time.
Great.
Because, the virus is still here. Vaccinated is proved that just because you're vaccinated doesn't make it go away. You still can get it. You just don't get as sick. I've actually had a friend who was vaccinated and still died of it. Of course, he had other medical issues, but still, it doesn't make you 100% safe. So until we can get to that point, I think we're going to see masks. Look at China and Japan. People have been wearing masks there for years, even though it was mostly for pollution.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing, because look how few regular flu cases we had.
yeah,
People were apart. They were protected, sanitizing. It really made it.
Going outside either.
So I think it's going to be with us for a while, and we might as well face it. And like I tell a lot of people, if you stop traveling until things get normal, you're never going to travel again.
no, that's right.
No, but the point is, for some of us, we haven't got the opportunity. We can't.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We would love to be able to.
That's why I started traveling last summer. It's like, I don't care if there's limits. I might as well get used to it, because that's going to be normal.
Correct. Just very quickly, this young man has popped in, young Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth, how are you? Good morning.
The 27-year-old man, the old man of 27.
How does it feel, Kenny?
Who will be 28 on his next first cruise. Now, whoa, hang on a minute. Kenneth just woke up.
Were you on a live?
Just woke up, and we'll go back and watch the replay. Kenneth, mate, you can watch the replay. You can also hang around and have a listen to what young Dewey has got to say about being a first-time cruiser.
I love it, young Dewey.
Mate,
hey,
we oldies have to get together. So, young Dewey.
Well, that's one thing all this traveling has definitely been doing. I can't believe the energy I've had, and how young I feel, and how healthy I feel. It's like the best thing I could do for my life.
Such a great attitude, honestly.
Tell me, the crew on board the ships, when you get on, how are they now to the patrons coming on board ship?
before COVID, crews were always outstanding on cruise ships. That was one of the things I liked. And somehow or another, they have exceeded that because now they're all so happy to be back to work. And a lot of these people come from countries where, what we consider to be a poor living, they would be rich in their country. So not being able to work, a lot of people lost everything they had, and they still have a positive attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, they're some of these people work morning, noon, and night, day after day after day, and what we consider, we would think that was slave labor. They're happy just to be working.
Yeah.
And, I happen to be a generous tipper, so they really like me because what I give, I think is just a pittance, and to them, they just feel like they're hitting the jackpot. And one person, I heard a story the other day. They work 7 days a week, pretty much 24 hours a day, had said something about having a day off. The next day, this person telling the story, they saw them there serving their breakfast, serving their lunch, serving them dinner. Said, I thought you had a day off. And he said, oh, I did. I had 4 whole hours. I was having a ball. 4 hours is a day off to these people.
Yeah.
They work constantly. And they're happy to be doing it. And they treat you that way.
Yep. That's the thing that we found was people were they were working, they worked for their 6 months or whatever their contract was, and they were just thrilled to be working.
Yeah, and
the thing is, they support their families.
Yep.
I don't know how these people do it, but these people have a bottomless memory.
Yep.
They know everything. They remember everything. I can't remember my cabin number day to day without looking at my card half the time. And they remember my name, what I ordered, my cabin number to charge it to. It just amazes me. And some of these people remember from cruise to cruise. I was with some friends this last cruise. We were on Coco Cay. Somebody not even on our ship walked up to them, called them out by name and said, I see you October 15, yes? He's their favorite bartender on a different ship. But yet they still remember him.
Dewey, I'm going to just play a little piece of music here. This is for our next segment that we're going to talk about.
Have you ever dreamt about taking a cruise on one of them fancy boats, soaking up the beauty and the magic just to free your soul? It's floating on the ocean, just a notion that seems out of reach. One thing on your bucket list is just to go and see the beach. You want to see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but Helping Hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, making your dream a reality.
You know you gotta do the things you've only dreamed about. Don't let anything stop you thinking you can't go all out. You can do the things you never thought were possible with Helping Hands to help you get there. Even oceans are no obstacle. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but Helping Hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, making your dreams a reality.
So if you ever dreamed about taking a cruise in one of them big old boats, soaking up that sun, feel that breeze, yeah, there is still hope. Don't let the ocean be a notion that is out of reach. Let's get together, help each other, and go see the sea. You wanna see the world, but something always holds you back. You've got that itching feeling, but your dreams got hijacked. There's lots of people out there that never get to cruise, but Helping Hands is helping making dreams come true.
Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, making your dream a reality. Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, cruising. Helping Hands for cruising, making your dream a reality.
And a big thank you to FatMat Adventures and his lovely wife for putting that music together and giving it. It's an amazing piece of music.
It is. Thank you, Kenny, for putting up FatMat's link too.
It's such a catchy tune, and it gives the whole cause such energy. I love it.
It is.
Amazing.
I use that as a lead in because I know you're coming on our group cruise. And I also know that you have some interest in helping hands for cruising. So what I'm going to ask you is why the interest? What is it about helping hands that gives you the desire to come in and join us?
I am a very philanthropical type person. I love helping out programs that I believe in. I love cruising. This just kind of combines everything. Once I heard about this project, I wanted to be involved in any way possible because I think it's awesome. It's a great idea to be able to share with those that wouldn't be able to otherwise enjoy what some of us take for granted because we can do. And so I love being a part of it. I'm so proud to be on the board with you, and I look forward to what the future holds for this organization. It's going to be awesome.
We appreciate that, Joey, very much.
Just for your information and for the thousands of listeners out there, within the next couple of days or so, we will want to be organising a board meeting because we want to get a couple of other opportunities out there. For example, we've got some interest in a cruise happening in the UK, the possibility of another cruise in the US, and as soon as the gates open down here, we will be looking at trying to find some recipients here as well. So things are starting to hot up, and so we need to put some strategies in place. So if it's okay with you, after we shut down this live stream, we'll just have a bit of a chat to talk more about it. But what do you think people like Kenny could benefit from this particular cruise?
I think that, I mean, for one thing, their horizons will be broadened so much compared to the life they live with so many limitations. And then you get people like Kenny who have such a wonderful attitude anyway.
Yeah, he's incredible.
I got to see him in Branson, and I don't think he ever had a smile that wasn't ever ear to ear. I mean, he was just having so much fun being involved, being active, being there. I just can't, knowing how much fun a cruise is, it's like, boy, has he got a lot to look forward to. This is going to be so wonderful. And so many people often say, oh, I wish I could do that. I never will. Well, hopefully we can make that never will a possibility for as many as possible.
Absolutely. Hey, Dewey, Kenny's not listening right now. I was going to ask you, have you got any ideas about what we should do with him the minute he gets on board the first cruise?
We will talk. We will talk.
I love that.
I'm sure there'll be plans.
He said in the chat, he said he looks forward to seeing you on the October 2022 cruise. It'll be his second time meeting you in person.
Yeah, we got to meet in Branson, and I was so happy because I've spent so many late nights online with this guy, and to meet him in person, and of course, like everybody else you meet, everybody that you meet in person is just like you see online, and he's even more so. I mean, he has got an energy about him that somebody like me who feeds off other people's energy, I just kind of naturally got attracted to hanging around near him because I just love it. He's got a good energy about him that keeps a positive outlook, and I'm Mr. Positive, if nothing else. You're not going to hear too many negative comments from me. If you do, it's pretty serious.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And we're trying to make it not that serious, right?
We gotta have.
There's going to be moments, I'm sure, for a lot of people where it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
But with keeping it together with a group, you can't go wrong because we got people looking out for everybody else. Even myself, it's like when I travel, it's like nautical nurse Nancy and Alma. Both of them are nurses. I feel like I have my own private medical staff with me because they're both always looking out for me. Are you okay? Are you drinking plenty of water? Do you need any help with this? It's like, and I don't even have near the problems other people do. So,
But now, wait a minute, Dewey. I was listening to Nancy today, and I had to laugh because she said she's an introvert. I mean, that was my response, right? Nancy, an introvert. Oh yeah, she's an introvert. Really?
she hides it well.
She does.
Very.
And I think
She
it's
must-
funny because she now, it's kind of like Dr. Heal Thyself type thing. Here she got hurt on that one cruise. She's been not following doctor's orders all the time, and she's been having problems getting around some, and yet she's still worried about everybody else, and she's always positive, high energy.
Yeah.
You can't help but hang around people like that if you want to have fun, because
Correct.
you can have fun doing the simplest things. The person's got the right attitude about it.
So now you're normal when you get on a cruise. What's the first thing you do?
It varies from cruise to cruise. A lot of people, they got to go get that first drink and get something to eat. I will do that eventually, but I am so awestricken when I get, especially a ship I've never been on before, that I just love to kind of soak it all in. I'm very much a walk around people watcher type thing. So I don't care if I rush to get a drink or get something to eat, as long as I've got someplace to roam and check it out, look it over, and kind of get my bearings so I know where I'm going. And of course, I'll stop and have a drink here or there, and I'll get something to eat. But maybe once I get familiar with more ships where the newness, I know the ship, I know my way around, maybe I'll have a different itinerary. But right now, I just get on and I absorb it all in and enjoy it so I can kind of get that high as quick as possible.
You were going to say
Sounds a bit
something.
familiar. We like to do similar, don't we?
We do.
Sort of orientate ourselves with the ship and know where we're going, which I still don't know where we're going, even at the last day. I always go the wrong way, Dewey.
Well, I do that a lot. I find myself walking aft instead of forward.
Yes.
Even when we were on the Mardi Gras, I kept having to check my card to see what room I was in. And what's going to be bad is I checked my cabin assignment for the Australia cruise. I'm only 2 doors down from where I was on last month. So it's like, oh, that's going to be great. Now, not only am I going to have to remember my room number, I got to remember I'm not in the one just down the hall.
You'll get someone a big surprise when you go into the
I'll have to
cabin.
quickly put up my door decorations so I know which one's mine, and I may even put a sign down there that says "Go back to."
Do you know what I'm going to find really overwhelming? I think is just actually the reality of just getting together with everybody that we've seen through the screen.
Oh yes,
and seeing everybody in the flesh, and it will be the first time since our last cruise was January the 13th, 2018.
Oh my goodness,
We have been waiting this long, so that will be very overwhelming.
That's a long
getting
dry spell for
together.
anybody.
Well,
I try not to remember how many days it was, but seeing as you brought it up,
and just a holiday too. So
1,324 days.
Oh my! Oh,
But we know the next one is 382.
Hey, we've been in lockdown for close to almost 300 days.
Yep.
Not
you get on
consecutive
that
days.
cruise, you guys are going to be just
We won't know what to
overjoyed.
do with us. No,
Oh,
we will be.
You know what, Dewey? For us, we won't believe it until we actually get on the aircraft
Yeah,
and
that'll
it's
be
in
it.
the air.
Because I've become an aviation geek, so I love flying anyway. So this will be, I'll be in seventh heaven.
And that's
love
been
it.
the way with me. A lot of people complain about flying these days with you have to wear masks all the time and all that. The mask part, I mean, it's an inconvenience, but to me, the idea of flying is so fun. I was brought up doing that. So I've never had a fear of flying. I've always enjoyed the act of flying. So even on any vacation I go on, if I fly to it, it's like 2 vacations in one, because the flight
Yeah.
itself to me
Yes.
is just
Yes.
as much the adventure. Even if
Uh-huh.
especially now, as much as I fly, it seems like I'm doing the same thing all the time. I still get that high. I go sit down and I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm ready.
Yes.
I just wanted to say we've got at least 14 people in the chat who are watching, and it looks like we've only got like 4 likes. I mean, guys,
Come on,
hit the
guys.
button.
Hit
Come
I mean,
on,
we've got
people, you
a
can
few
do
more
better
than
than that.
yeah.
Got to hit those likes and show the love for Sean and Alana. Come on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And to you, because yes, to you as well.
From our point of view, Dewey, I watch people, in some of the chats there. I'm not going on that cruise if I have to wear a mask. I'm not doing this if I have to. And I look at them and I go, guys, you're cruising.
Be grateful for that. Show some gratitude.
And
Seriously.
all these people that say they're not going to cruise anymore, it's like, fine, that's more room for the rest of us. If you want to be that way, there's hundreds of other people out there ready to go. I'm sorry.
I just think in the scheme of things, it's such a petty thing, It's not going to how does it ruin a cruise?
Yeah, if you're going to be a Debbie Downer about it before you even get on it, I don't want you on my cruise anyway. So
Correct.
Thank you. Ian says there are 15.
Ian.
Thank you. We're not updated, obviously.
Thank you.
We are behind. Thanks, guys.
Hang on a minute. What do you mean we're behind? We're ahead. They're behind.
Oh, Ian's not.
No, well, Ian's.
He says-
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
It's not updating for us, so
No.
thank you. We are. Oh, now it is.
Yeah, okay. So it's refreshing. Excellent.
It's having a refresh.
So
There we go.
next one is Scarlet Lady after that.
after that, I'm on the Pride out of Baltimore. And
Come on, rattle them off.
Pardon?
Rattle them off. Come on, let's go.
Yep. And that one's just for old time's sake, because that was my first cruise.
Two.
And then October or Halloween, I'm on the Mardi Gras again.
Yep.
And then the middle of November, I'll be on the Independence of the Seas for a weekend cruise.
Yep.
Thanksgiving, I'm on the Celebrity Edge.
Wow.
And then early December, I'm on the Oasis of the Seas. And New Year's Eve, I'm on the Freedom of the Seas.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Out of where?
And in between, I'm taking a train trip because I decided I'm going to come home for Christmas via Amtrak and go Fort Lauderdale to D.C., across to Chicago, and back down here. So
You're becoming another Nick.
Oh, I won't be as long of a trip as him, but if you combine that with all the mileage I put on in October, then I'll probably get close.
And that's only until the end of the year, so that's already like 6 or 7. Wow.
Oh, yeah. And I've
How
got,
are you remembering all this?
I think I've got 17 cruises already for next year, and I'm not done with those yet because I've only put a few weekend cruises in there. Once I get settled in Florida, I'm sure I'll be throwing in a lot more weekend cruises in between everything.
Have you ever thought of becoming a TA?
I have. Right now, though, I'm not in a hurry because I'm enjoying it too much. I don't want to make my travels the work and take the fun out of it, because I've seen people like Kim and others who take it to heart and they spend more time putting out fires and making sure everybody else is happy. Right now, I'm still into making me happy. So when that gets old, I'll probably become a TA or at least part-time, just so that I can still be involved. But as long as I can do it, I'm doing it.
Now, you said you're doing a New Year's Eve cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it going?
It's just a weekend cruise to the Bahamas and back over New Year's.
We're just going to the Bahamas for the weekend. Okay.
Just to the Bahamas.
Yeah, but if you look at it on the map, Bahamas is really close.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, we could do a weekend cruise to Tasmania.
Yes, it's quite the Bahamas, but anyway.
And it meant most of the weekend cruises, that's where they go because it's good and close. So after a while, these friends of mine that live just down the street from me, basically, they go once a month on a weekend cruise. He's a workaholic, and that's the only way his wife can get him off the phone is to take him out and you'll see where the phone don't work. And he doesn't like long trips. They were with us on the Dominican Republic trip. They were there for 9 days. He was going nuts after 4.
I can imagine he would be. He's
Yeah.
got to know what's going on, right?
He goes on one 7-day cruise a year, and that kills him as it is. The rest of the time, every month, they just do the weekend cruises because he loves taking off on Friday, come back Monday morning, work during the week. Next Friday, come up. Sometimes they'll do multiple weekends in a row, but he doesn't mind that because once he gets. Matter of fact, the weekend cruise we were on, he was getting tired of being on the phone. He just gave his crew the rest of the day off on Friday so that they'd leave him alone so he could have some fun.
May I just ask a question? You don't have to answer, but I'm just really interested in, like, how much does a weekend cruise cost?
That varies. Of course, it's costlier for me since I travel solo. But right now, the prices are outstanding. You can pick up, there's offers going around for, I've seen cabins as low as $25 a day for, even a week-long cruise, and that's a balcony.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's enough people canceling because of COVID issues, testing issues, and all this stuff that even though the ships are traveling at partial capacity, they still want to fill that partial. So
Yep.
people that are living near cruise ports, and that's what I'm hoping to take advantage of a lot, you get a lot of last minute deals because they just want bodies on.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't do them any good to send ships away, half filled as it is without, not being able to fill the seats or the cabins they are able to use. So they're making some good deals because the prices really jumped earlier this summer when everybody started cruising again. And now all of a sudden, my Oasis cruise, I like to pay things in advance because I got so many, I don't want to have to try to remember when they're due. The price dropped over $900.
Wow.
And I'm still waiting
you've got,
if it's going to be onboard credit or if they'll just refund my credit card.
I was going to say you'd have a bucket load in onboard credit. How many restaurants can you go to that are additional charge?
And it's like the cruise I was on the Mardi Gras, I had on that cruise, I had $750 onboard credit because we had a lot of onboard credit for the group and for the cruise. And then as a stockholder in most cruise lines, you get onboard credit as well if you submit the right papers. And of course, everything was prepaid, my liquor package, my tips, my Wi-Fi, all that stuff. So it's like, what am I going to spend it on? So I got to put in a lot of casino time. Unfortunately, I didn't win, but at least when you're gambling with their money, it's like, might as well. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah, why not? We've got to do something like that.
What?
Gamble with their money.
Gamble with their money, yes.
Well, I keep hoping that since I already paid that cruise, I won't be upset if I end up with $900 worth of onboard credit because I'm sure on a ship like the Oasis, I'll find some way to spend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
How could you not?
I just want to say thank you to Kenny. He put up your link so that we could get the general populace having a look at it. So we just put your link up there that people can see.
And that is TUI Destinations.
Thank you, Kenny. Yeah, I apologize that I don't have a high level of content on there, but give me time.
You'll have plenty by the end of the year.
I'll tell you what we're going to be doing, Jury. On the group cruise, there'll be nothing for you to do but edit video. No, there'll be plenty to do.
I envy these vloggers that are able to not only take pictures, take video and stuff, but even get things edited and out before they're off the ship.
Yes.
That's not an easy chore.
No, and I wonder why are they doing that when they're supposed to be having fun on the ship, not
exactly
doing editing.
And to a lot of people, that is fun. And I enjoy the editing process, but I'm still so new at it that I would be spending all of my waking hours working on editing something. So it's like I just decided I need to quit emphasizing being a vlogger and start emphasizing being more of a participator and enjoy it first. Because you can't talk about it if you haven't had a chance to do it.
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm trying to get rid of these bars, and we're hoping that they're only going to be. We're hoping that we're only behind them for the next 4 weeks.
Well, let's hope that they get everything opened up quickly for you so that things can start happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even if it's nothing more than traveling internal, at least let you get out and do something.
Absolutely. Dewey, I'm going to call this a night. We've had an awesome chat. I will ask you hang around, but we've had an awesome chat, and I think just as a reminder for the folks, daylight saving comes in this weekend. So as of next week, our next Hump Day session will be at 5 a.m. Eastern your time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern our time. And our Saturday session, not this coming week, but the week after, will be at 1 p.m. our time, which will equate to 10 p.m. your time on the other side of the pond.
Change.
Just to give you a heads up, we've got this weekend, this Friday night or Saturday our time. It's an Aussie day, so we're going to be having a couple of channels and us having a chat about Aussie cruising. And so if you guys are all interested in having a listen and partaking, it would be an awesome session to have a listen to. So
Or you want to ask any questions about Australia?
Yep.
Places to see, things to do.
Mum is saying I really enjoyed listening. Keep well and
Thanks,
safe,
Rita.
everybody. Thanks, Mum. And we look forward to seeing everybody coming up next, this Saturday, but next week.
Thank
And
you,
so,
Dewey, for joining
thank you,
us
Dewey.
so much. Lovely.
Thank you, guys. I had a good time.
Have a great day.
Have a good day. Bye,
Bye,
now.
everyone.
Bye now.
Bye now.